Hello and welcome to Stamping and Crafting with Cheryl Diana. I'm Cheryl Diana and today I'm going to be using one of my older stamp sets that's still current, and we're going to be doing some colouring of the stamped image, and I thought I would change them in to anniversary cards. So let's go and have a look at the stamp set and how we're going to make them. So I'm going to be using the Layers of Beauty stamp set. It comes with matching dies and some masks. Now I've done videos using the masks, so I thought let's just have a go at back to basics and just use the whole stamp to sort of colour it in and that. So morning Valerie. So just pop those out the way. So I have already stamped the image. I've heat embossed it because the technique that I want to show you, it is flooding an area, or as much as we can. So I'm going to be using Bubble Bath, Fresh Freesia and Granny Apple Green. So, and we're going to be using the ink. So I'm just squishing it slightly because I want the ink to go onto the lid. And then with an aqua brush or a water painter, just get some, we're going to colour it in. So that's it. Just going to put a lot of water in there. And then we start colouring it in. So I'm going to do, and then we have to let it dry. I think I might put some more ink on there. That's better. So we're literally gonna. Oh, Valerie, I used the Versamark and the black embossing powder, and obviously I used my little scrub thingy beforehand, which stops the static. So I'm just going to colour this one in, and of course it's mixed with water. It's going to be all different tones. So let's just do one over here. Now, if you don't have the ink pad, you can always use the re-inker. So I might just use that just to add a little bit more colour to it. It's still quite faint. Now you could always use stays on as well if you did want to heat emboss. And I think I am going to have to move on to my re-inker in a minute. Oops, that's coming away. Alright, there we go. So for my re-inker, I did have a tile lying around. Yeah, I have. So I have a spare tile that I can then pop a bit of ink on. That's my Fresh Freesia. That's my Bubble Bath. So let's pop that pad over there. Let's just add a little bit of the re-inker. There we go. So it doesn't look very pinky. But it does when you mix it with a bit of water. So let's just do make it give some depth to it. I'm just doing the top edges of them. There we go, that's looking better. So you can see how that's now looks more sort of toned. We'll do the other one. So let's just go over here. So we can get a similar effect to what we would with the blends. Just by using the ink. I just need a little bit more of that one. And of course it doesn't have to be perfect because flowers are not always perfect. Can add a little bit more to make these bits just a little bit darker. There we go. I want to just do a little bit down here. That's it. Right. Let's give that a clean. Before we go on to fresh freesia, I think we'll do for the other flower. So squish it again, like so. There we go, that's better. And a little blob of water in there to mix it up. Now we're going to do the bigger flower. So do the same again. Now you could use oranges for your roses, yellows. I've done it in blue before to match a card. What else? Reds. And then you could always do a black and grey version if you wanted a black and white card. So it's tone on tone. So I'm just colouring this really quickly. But you can spend a long time doing that. So let's close that up. And better re-inker. Whoops, that's coming up really quite a bit. Let's just add a little bit of water in there. And just go around the tops again. Just a bit there. Whoops. A lot came out on that one. That's fine. It's going in. Now, when you heat emboss it, it will bend the card slightly. So let's just see if we get a little bit more colour in here. Very light. This one just a fraction darker. See how it was slightly more wetter, and it's sort of blended in much more. And I want to do that bit there. So there we go. Put a bit more down there. A bit of white showing there. There we go. So I'll just pop that on there. Now let's just get rid of that pinky bit. Oh, I did miss one bit. I missed the leaf. Do you know, I always find with these ones, I always miss one little bit. That's it, it's clean. Now, I would use the colouring the leaves. So, all the water on there. And then we just do the, whoops, do the leaves. Check you can see what I'm doing. And do this one here. So colouring, I find, is really relaxing. And then you forget what's going on outside and just concentrate on colouring. I'm just doing the bigger ones that colour. I'll bring in some extra colours in here. Big leaves. Let's colour that in. So here we go, and nearly there. So what have I been doing this last week? I did a journal workshop on Sunday, and I used some of our very old and butterfly papers. So now I've just got to add bits to the inside. We took Milo to the vets on Monday for his annual jabs, and they checked out his ear and that, and he got some bad teeth as well. So he's sleeping a lot more now at the moment, but he's loving having wet food until his teeth until his gums heal, because that's normally sort of a treat food for them, because they graze, they have dried food. This screen is really nice and bright. Let's see if I get it really dark. Oops. Put my hand in there. So yeah, so this one's really dark. But he's okay. He did scratch me though. No, he bit me because he still doesn't like being held. So keep it me. Right, okay, so that's yeah, that's that bit done. I'm just going to pop that over like that. And I think I'm going to bring, what other colour? I think I'm going to bring in a yellow for the flowers. Just realised. No, that's fine. I'm going to bring in a yellow. What yellow shall I bring in? Let's try Lemon Lolly. Haven't used this one much. It's a really pale yellow. Like so. So let's see. That's clear, yeah. Let's just see what this looks like. One drop on there. And do these flowers with that. It looks quite pretty. It does. So we just turn that round. And then we'll let it dry before we stick it down. And while it's drying, I'll do a similar card, but just with ink. I never know which bits this one is. And we'll do some that one there. And this one here. And there. Right, and then I want it to be really, really dark. So I might use Flirty Flamingo for the middle. Oops, it's not going to let me do it. It might be because I need to add some more ink to it. Yeah, just get that in the middle there. There we go. They're done. So I'm going to close those up. Oops, don't splatter that. And then I'm going to pop those back and pop that over there to dry. And then we're going to do, I don't need those anymore. So pop those up there. Don't need that anymore. Right, so now we're going to do another card using the same stamp. It just fits on a matte layer. So I'm going to use my Memento ink because I want to use the alcohol blends. Ink it up really well. There we go, and then try and fit it on. It just fits on here. So take a slight angle as well because that was just nice rather than it being straight. Here we go. It's done. And then I want to do a spotlight effect. A scrap of paper because I've had this over a year. I just realised that there was a die I have not used. So I'm just going to ink up the very big flower. and stamp it on a bit of card. Like so. Pop that over there. Done with stamping. Pop that. I do run out of space. Okay, so we're going to colour in. We're going to do that, and we're going to colour these in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for the same colours again. So we started off green apple green, bubble bath, fresh freesia, lemon lolly we had, didn't we? And flirty flamingo, which looks more pinker than I thought it would. Right, so let's colour in the big one, fresh freesia. So the same colours again. So I'm going to use the brush end this time. I'm just going to colour a little bit. And the outside, and then do a bit with the light going over it. So they're much darker now. So I'm just doing little dots around the edges. And then just going over with the light. Just to blend it in. Okay, and then we just do a bit more around here. So just lightly dots around it. Sorry, my voice went then. So just doing it sort of anyway in the middle. And then we just colour this in. There we go. And you can just see the different colours. Now I could spend ages building it up, but that'd be boring for you to watch. So I'm just going to use my dark one. Yeah, use that end to go over these. Because I know that's the only bit that stamps little die cut out. I can't believe I missed a die. So let's do this one. Now you can fussy cut it out or die cut it out. So I'm going to fussy cut it out because I think it's a bit quicker than me die cutting. And it's a simple one to fussy cut out as well. There we go. And you need very sharp scissors to fussy cut and then move the card round rather than your scissors round. Okay, so it's going to go So now some people don't like doing this, but I find it's relaxing. In fact, Sunday I spent a good hour cutting butterflies out of the papers that I had. So, and I used a whole pack of papers because I think with that set I had, there were celebration ones, and I think I got 5 packs. I think I'm down to like 1 pack now. But that was when I bought things because I liked it rather than will I actually use it. And then I was sorting out my craft room and I found I got so many packs of it. But I'm better organised now with my papers. Okay, nearly finished. I'll just cut that bit off there, yeah? And then trim this bit down. It's easier than trying to have that really big piece of card. Go. Nearly finished. There we go. This is my fussy cut bit. And then that will go on there, but we'll raise it up, and that's spotlighting. So let's get this coloured in. Do the leaves. We'll use the bullet end again. Now this one is, I've had a while, so it's making a scratchy noise. Yes. Let's just do it down here. I actually don't have any ink on me at the moment, which is good. Because you know me, I get ink everywhere. Okay, let's do some more of this. There we go. There's a bit in there. So pop in the comments of what you are currently working on. So I've got a craft fair on Saturday, and I will be spending the next couple of days making some boxes to sell. But I can do them whatever colours I need. Don't have to be current colours. So and the forecast is looking very good for Saturday. Not like last weekend where it rained a lot of the time. add some lines in. That one, done that one, done those ones. Let's just do one there, a little bit there, and that bit needs a bit there, and I'll colour those in. And I bet I have missed a wedding card, Valerie. Oh, I'd love to see that. So what colours are you using on it? And that is one there. Oh, just a little bit there. Right, okay. So let's do our flowers, which we know are the lemon lolly. Yeah, is that right? I forgot what it's called. Yeah, lemon lolly. It's because there's lemon lime twist as well. It's like, have I got it right? Oh, white on white. Oh, that sounds lovely. You'll have to share it on my Facebook group page, because that'd be lovely to see it. Because I know you do most amazing cards. And then if anybody else wants to share what they're making, then please do pop it on my page. There we go. No, I'd miss a leaf there. And I'm just adding the dark, just to add a bit more colour to those flowers. That one's quite faint still, so let's just give them a bit more colour. That's it. And that one needs a bit more colour. That one. There we go. Oh, I need these ones. And this is a bit darker. And I've missed 2 leaves there. There we go. So now I didn't have to colour those ones in either. I just realised, but I don't have to colour that one in, so I don't need the Highland Heather one. I'm going to be using Fresh Freesia. So that's Bubble Bath. It was Bubble Bath I did them in, wasn't it? Yeah, right, I have got that right. Now, Floaty Flamingo on the blend looks much pinker than it does on the ink. So let me just do a test piece. And I'll see if I've got a scrap. Now, I must have a scrap somewhere here, because I keep all my scraps. So that's too pink. Might have to use the right blends. Floaty Flamingo. Oh, that's too bright. That's definitely pink. So I'm going to swap that for Peach Pie. That's a better colour for the middles. So because I watered down the Flirty Flamingo, it wasn't its normal shade of pink. I've had to change it slightly. So they are still very pale. Just add a little bit more colour down there. That's better. And that needs a little bit down there. Yeah. So I don't need those, I just need these ones. So, and I always get muddled up my lights and my darks. So I'm going to turn those round. And this is my dark, so let's just do some edges. Like so. So I'm just doing dots this time. Dots and very small strokes. And you need a bit more on this one here. And then we'll cover it all with a light. So as I said before, you will take much longer colouring in than me. You can hear how fast I'm colouring it in. Just move it again just a bit more. And I actually need to add a little bit more of the dark. Just go over it again. There we go. And we're going to do this one here. So that is my light. Let's do the dark bit first. And this one won't take quite so long to colour. There we go. Let's actually do a bit more the darker one on there. And then soon we'll be able to make the cards up. There we go. Right, so this is now dry. So you can see how different the colouring is. If I just bring them up a bit. But they both give a nice effect. So let's pop those out of the way. Okay, so I'm going to be using basic white card bases again. I'll put that one like that. And that one's going to go like that. No, it's one of these, I can never work out which way it goes. So I think we could have it going that way, and then that's going to go on like that. Right, so yep, let's do it either way. So I'm going to get some. Have I got it out? Granny. I'm going to have a granny apple green matte layer behind all of them, so it brings it in the leaves. just going to cut that down. That's my embossing machine plate gone on the floor. So I want this to be 14.3. Hang on. That way, I want it that way, 14.3. I'm forgetting how to do that layers, which isn't good, is it? And then that needs to be a 10. And that needs to be a 10. There we go. So let's stick these down. Where's my glue? There it is. Oop. So here we go, just that one. I can see embossing powder all over my desk, even though I did keep it on a piece of card. So let's do that. Put that on there. Go, and then we're going to have this one that way up. Do that. Let's go that way still. And it's almost gone flat now. It's all dried and cooled down. Here we go. Oops. It does shift when you glue it down. That's fine. That's going to stick really well. And then this one. You can see how that the alcohol blends come through to the back of the card. So that's why I always matte layer it. And also because sometimes if I stamp directly onto a card, it doesn't always come out the same sort of density over the I was just trying to look at why that flower was not coloured. I know why that is, because we're going to pop that on there, do some spotlighting technique. So there's my dimensionals. I think I'm going to use both sizes. So spotlighting is great for loads of different stamps. It is. I'm trying to think, if you've got a figure that you want to stand out, you can punch out a circle or a square, or like I'm doing here, the shape of the stamp. You can sometimes leave the back really plain, and then just spotlight one certain piece of it. Whoops. Put that there. Put that there, and then put one there. Okay. So when Milo bit my hand and it's all swollen up, I didn't think I would be able to craft today. but it is going down very slightly. So I just need to bring this nearer so I can actually line it up. There we go. So it's actually brought it forward a bit. Now the sentiment. I was doing anniversary cards, and this has got a lovely font here. Quite a big stamp. Okay. So I think definitely have that up there. We'll cover the flower, but that's fine. Then I think we will do one down here. We will. Okay, so I need it on that one. Is it going to fit on here? Yes, it will. But do I want to make it a bit smaller? So let's just see. Fit on a. Fix that 3.5. No, that's a 4. So I'm going to cut it down to 3.5. And it 3.5 by 6. I think we'll do. So 3.5. Because I don't want it to swamp the card. I need that bit. By 6 we said, didn't we? There we go. So you see why I keep all my scraps? Because I haven't had to use a completely new sheet. Now I just got to line this up. So I'm going to put this in the black so it matches the outlines. Just thinking, there's my memento that I had out earlier. So let's line this up. And then line that up there. There we go. That is a lovely font. That is. And then I'm going to need to bring that there. It's quite bigger than I thought it was going to be. I think I might just go with that. I might just trim it down slightly. I'm use my little trimmer, but Stampin' Up don't do this one anymore, which is such a shame because it is very good just for taking that little bit off the edge. There we go. It's just over 3. So let's just trim that bit down as well. Whoops. Oh dear, come on. Oops, that was very near the top. There we go. I'm just going to take a little bit off of that one. Ooh. Will that notice? No, it won't notice so much on that now. Let's do it again. I'm not happy with it. If I'm not happy with it, I will always worry about it. Right, let's do this bit then. Let's just cut it to 6 again. better. Here we go. I don't, that's too thick. Oh, so that's not big enough. Yep. So you see, sometimes you need to stamp it quite a few times to get what you really want it to look like. The first two were great for it, but that one was just too thick on the top. I'm just going to clean it because it is still quite thick on the top. So I wonder if I've got ink down the side of it. I just nipped my fingers in the hinge of my Stampin' Scrub and it's really sore. That's better. There we go. There we go. Did I like that one? I want this one and that one. I'm going to add a little bit of granny apple green. That's not big enough. I've got a bit in here. No, let's get the scraps out. And granny apple green is a bright. I've got that out already. Where's granny apple green? Here. So what have we got? Is that big enough? Going to be big enough? Yes, that's going to be big enough. I just popped it in lemon lime twist. Back in the wrong bit. Right, so I'm happy with that size. So let's just glue that on. Come on, glue. It's getting low. So just do that. Pop that on there to dry, and that one. It's got a dirty bit there. Am I going to cover that bit over? Yeah, if we do it there, it doesn't show so much. So that bit is 3.4 wide. So I'll make this one 3.4 wide. I'm going to cut it from there. And we want it to go like so. That's it. Okay, if I put it over that way, that's better. So just pop this on this side. It looks a straighter edge. Right, let's just trim that down. I think I'm going to use my mini again. Because it is easier to just get that little edge. There we go. And do this one. Right, there we go. And now the hard bit, to decide where we're going to have the sentiment. So I quite that one. I like that one down there, and then this one. I think I'm going to go up there. Yes, that's better. So I'm just going to mount these using dimensionals. I don't want minis, so let's just add these. Put one in the middle, there, and there. So I've got some anniversaries that are coming up, so I'm going to have 2 cards already made. Dimensionals again. Here we go. And then we said we'd have this one down here, didn't we? Right, just a bit of embossing folder there. Embossing powder, not folder. Whoops, that was a mistake to make. But luckily, that mark's going to be covered by the sentiment. There we go. Sorted. Let's just finish these off. So these are our finished cards. Line them up. So the first one we did, I heat embossed the outline using black embossing powder, and then we coloured it in using the ink pad and the re-inkers. And then this one, we stamped it using the normal black on Memento ink, and then we coloured in using blends. We used the same colours. We used lemon lolly for the little flowers. We used bubble bath for the 2 roses, and then we used fresh freesia for the large one. And then on this card we just spotlighted the big rose on it and the leaves. So I hope you have enjoyed seeing how I made these 2 cards, and please have a go yourself, because it's quite easy to do and it's fun. So until next week, take care and keep stamping and crafting. Bye.